to me that they would take this particular gun, this particular round, because I don't think they'd do it in the first place. But as you said, once they get in, they change this. Oh, if we feel like we can change that, we can do that as well.
Right. And I try to get people to wake up, stop being sheeple. I was traveling on an airline not too long ago, and I walked through security. And as I was going through security, I had a cup of water with me. And the ATF, well, not the ATF, but the TSA agent said, hey, you're going to have to, dump that out. You're going to have to pour that out or throw it away. I said, well, why do I have to throw this away? And they said, well, because it could be an explosive.
Yeah.
I said, okay, so what do you want me to do with it? Oh, just dump it in the trash can right there. Okay.
So I can explode it right there?
Right. We need to stop being sheeple and start questioning things, This needs to stop. The ATF is actually governing, and they should not be. They should not be able to create laws that are where I'm going to be charged with a felony.
Right.
That should be up to Congress. That should be up to our legislative branch. And I hope not the executive branch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing, because you can call into the ATF right now. I believe we have the article. It says contact ATF on changes to regulate armor-piercing ammo. That's the article on guns.com. So people can actually contact the ATF. Now, I noticed that, at least when I looked, they didn't have any type of open forum, like they have done on past things where you can see other people's points of view.
Right.
So I guess you're just supposed to contact them directly, and then they'll say, well, everybody voted that they wanted to change it, so let's go ahead and change it.
No, and they definitely need to get their input put in there. Let the ATF know that, hey, this is not something that should be done. This is for sporting purposes only. The original intent was actually for handguns, not for long guns. So definitely let them know that, and we need to stop, wake up, and get involved.
Right, and it's not just the AR-15. Earlier, or I guess last year, we saw also them come after the AK-47.
Yes, and every time this president or this current administration comes out and they're going to attack or say, hey, we need to do anything with any type of firearms, the only thing they do is it causes a big rush.
Mm-hmm.
People run to the gun store and they try to purchase that item as fast as possible. So that's why he's the #1 salesman in the land.
Yeah, he's the #1 gun salesman since his administration. Now, have you seen those spikes in sales when he bans the AKs and all that?
Absolutely. The day that he did that night, every distributor sold out of those firearms. Every single distributor in this country.
Yeah, and we see it, whether it's the ammunition, the magazines, the firearms themselves. Sometimes everybody rushes out and gets those things. It was right after Sandy Hook, where you could not buy a semi-automatic rifle.
Right. So, if they're gonna do this with the this particular bullet here, then what's gonna happen is, hey, start making it right now, and then rushing it out there, because I guarantee you, as soon as it goes into effect, hey, this is now illegal, then it's gonna sell out.
Right. Now, when we talk about these bullets, these ammunition, for the people who don't know, what is the significance of an armor-piercing bullet to the layman? Break it down.
Well, for this, the armor piercing is supposed to actually, pierce the body armor or whatever, or maybe a vehicle or something like that, or maybe a very strong animal, very strong.
Like a big buck.
Correct, and make sure that it actually gets in there. And that's why I use it, not necessarily for a vehicle or anything like that, but I definitely will use it for a very strong animal, one that's actually pretty far away.
Right, exactly. Okay, now when we talk about things for handguns, would you support people using that type of thing? Would you recommend anybody use armor-piercing bullets for a pistol?
No, not if you're going to use it for personal defense, because you need to make sure, you need to know where that bullet's going to go. You need to know what your threat is and what's behind that threat. If you fire that round, especially a handgun, then that could go a little further than you want it to go. So no, not for a handgun, but definitely for a rifle. I'm going to use it for long distances. That's the purpose of the rifle.
Right.
For a handgun, that's usually, I'm going to have a handgun at home for personal protection and stuff like that. I'm not going to use my AR-15 at home for personal protection. I'll use that while I'm out hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get that buck or whatever I'm trying to do, and it's a little further, than I think, then that's what I'm going to use that round for.
And you made a good point there, because, you and I, we both support the Second Amendment. People own whatever gun they want to have. But, sometimes I see these YouTube videos and the guys up there, they got the AKs. They live in a 1-bedroom apartment. And you're like, hey, you breaking my house, and I'm going to shoot you. Like, no, bro, because it's not going to stop here. It's going to go through a wall and possibly into the next.
It's going to go through that wall, your neighbor's wall, and, and everywhere
so,
else.
yeah, that's a good point. You want a pistol. I like a shotgun, birdshot, things such as that nature, especially at that close range.
And you know, if I'm going to be at home, I'm actually going to want a handgun because I may need to clear that room.
Okay.
I may need to make sure my house is safe. A handgun, I can do that. A long gun, it's going to be hard for me to go around that curve or go around that corner there with a long gun. But definitely with a handgun, I can defend my house.
Exactly. Okay.
And I use an extended magazine to do that.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I got a shorter barrel legal limit shotgun, but you know, each his own. Each his own. Now, Mike, something we've both been on is open carry here in Texas. You know, we see now Governor Abbott saying that he's going to sign it. Do you believe that?
Yes, I do believe that if it does cross his desk, he will actually sign it. I wish that they would pass constitutional carry because there's 44 states in the United States that do not have, well, actually 44 states that allow some form of open carry. Texas is one of the few states that you cannot open carry a handgun. So we need to actually get constitutional carry passed in Texas, not just license carry. Because license carry, you got to have a handgun license. You know what? They do not tax the First Amendment. They do not tax the Third. They do not tax the Fourth. They do not tax the Fifth. So why are we taxing the Second Amendment?
Right. And talking more about the just generally carrying the pistol on you, we saw some very controversial comments. We had a summit, so to speak, last week before, and we saw some police chiefs come out and say that, in so many words, that they'd rather have somebody go through counseling than actually carry a gun on campus to protect themselves from a perpetrator. Are you a supporter of the campus carry?
Absolutely. It's about fight or flight, you know, and we need to have faith in people that are trying to protect themselves. Law enforcement officers don't get a chance to practice like they should, and that's why they're not as great shots. But your individuals who are very concerned about their individual safety are going to go out, they're going to practice, going to take that class, make sure they get the right gun, and they're going to make sure they can get that shot off because it's about saving their life. As a civilian, not as a law enforcement officer who's doing a job, who's checking in from 9 to 5.
Yeah. Yeah, because people see the movies and they think, you know, the law enforcement officer shows up. Number one, they automatically assume the officer's going to know what's going on. You know, officer shows up, one guy has a knife, the other one has a baseball bat. They don't know who started it, who's in the wrong. So then you have that. And then on top of that, when the officer opens fire, you know, he's not going to hit his target every time. Like they see the movies, they see James Bond take out a little 22 and shoot somebody 50 yards away. It doesn't happen like that in real life. So you, the individual, need to have the ability to protect yourself.
Right.
And I agree with you on that point.
And anyone that speaks out against campus carry, that's someone who wants the ladies to be unarmed so they can actually overpower them and take advantage of them. So anyone that speaks out against that, that's their purpose. And think about this. Campus carry. Right now, you can already have a handgun on a college campus. You just cannot go into the building. You can walk all the way through, for example, University of Texas. You can walk all the way through that campus with a handgun on you, with a concealed handgun license, and and have the gun on you concealed. You cannot go into the building. So we're talking about the prohibition of the building to be able to carry into the building. And now you have Senator Ellis, one of the state senators here in Texas, saying, "Hey, it's going to cost $47 million." To educate the officers, educate the campus,
yeah, I heard that too.
And to be able to afford, this bill. And that's malarkey. $47 million. What he's saying is it's going to cost $50,000 per gun for someone to be able to carry inside of a building of a college campus, where it's already legal for you to walk through the campus now.
That's completely ridiculous.
It's
another ridiculous thing. Let me get your comment on this. Not going to say any names, but we saw a police chief saying that he'd rather somebody, if they're going to carry openly, wear some type of identification on the outside of their clothing to identify them as a open carry. Were you privy to this?
No, but you know what? And I'm totally against that because it's working in other states. It's working everywhere else, the majority of places here, in this country. So why can it not work here in Texas? This is the same type of argument that they brought it back in 1995 to Texas when we got the concealed handgun license program. There's going to be blood in the streets. Officers are not going to know what's going on.
Oh, that's so ridiculous. Because, Mike, just in my home state of Oklahoma, I think, was it 2013, 2012, we passed open carry. And so everybody who says that, everybody's going to do it and there's going to be blood in the streets, there's an entire state debunking that right now. Because I go home, Thanksgiving, Christmas, I rarely, if anybody, see anybody open carrying. It's not some big deal.
Right, because Oklahoma went, they had the same thing, concealed carry, then they did license carry and license open carry, and it's working great for them. It's going to work great for us.
Can't believe it. Now, Mike, our time here is short. So I'm going to ask you, a friend of yours, Cody Wilson, he has the dark wallet. He's doing a lot of the printable gun stuff. I had a chance to speak to him the other day, and now he has the AR-15 processor, the Ghost Gunner. I had a chance to see it at the Texas Capitol. He's saying he's having trouble getting it out through FedEx. He used to be able to ship with them. Now he can't. What are your thoughts on that?
He needs to try a different carrier, and maybe we need to boycott FedEx and not do any business with them, because I don't understand what the problem is. They don't need to know anything about it. Hey, it's a legal item. Their thing is, they said, well, it's not regulated. Well, you know what? Most things are not regulated. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Right.
That's their justification. So they need to go ahead and ship it. There's really no problems whatsoever with that item. Hey, go through USPS, or, because he's an FFL. He has a license, so they should be able to ship that item.
Yeah, completely ridiculous. And also, I want to end with this. So we're talking about things that happened, Cody Wilson, Operation Choke Point. We've seen the DOJ, they come after gun shops, banks, saying, hey, don't finance with these guys. Have you experienced this, or have you known anybody who has experienced anything like that? I
have not experienced it, but I know some gun stores actually have, where they actually go after them and actually cut their financing, so they can't either they have a loan, they cut that, cut their financing totally out, so their loan becomes due, or something like that. And this is the administration's work. This has their framework all over it, where they're targeting the money. If you can't go after the guns, you can't go after this. Well, then you know what? Let's follow the money and get that money trail, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, because what was it, South by Southwest? I meet all these people. They say, well, you keep saying Obama's trying to ban the guns. Where's the proof? Well, besides the fact he said he was going to do whatever Dianne finds, we can extend this, because I see you got something on your mind there.
Oh, absolutely. You got to follow the trail, because this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's not, people always ask, why do you need to do this and why do we need to do that about our Second Amendment rights? Well, you know what? It's not called a Bill of Needs. It's called the Bill of Rights.
Right. Yeah, because we see Dianne Feinstein, she had all the anti-gun rhetoric, and Obama said he was going to run with whatever she said she was going to do. So he's willing to sit back. So he's hiding behind her for his gun lobby. And then on top of that, we have coming out with the magazines, the ammunition, the firearms. It's like any way they can get it, that's what they're going to do.
Right.
And even the printable guns.
Right.
They don't want that technology out there.
Right. So that's why we need to be vigilant, and support our Second Amendment legislators, make sure we're standing behind them and pushing them forward to, catch them as they fall, to, hey, keep going what you're doing, because we need to continue to remember, hey, this is the United States of America. This is a land of the free, home of the brave.
Right. Let me ask you about open carry. I've had a chance to meet with the guys. I know you have as well. They get a lot of bad press. Any thoughts on how maybe things could go a little bit smoother for them? What'd be the next logical step?
Well, for a lot of guys, this is the first time they've actually got involved in the political process, so they're not aware that everything they do is going to be criticized. Every turn that you make, every post that you post on Facebook. So I actually got a chance to bring all of them together and sit down and talk with them and say, hey, you need to remember that everything you do online is going to be scrutinized. They're going to look at every single thing. So watch what you do, and let's move forward and get this legislation passed. Right.
All right, Mike. Give us your final thoughts. Just look right there in that camera and tell us anything that's on your mind.
Man, I tell you, definitely get involved in what's happening around this country. Talk with your state senator, talk with your state representative, talk with their U.S. congressman, your U.S. rep, and let them know that, hey, we need to, make sure that this current administration or any other entity do not fringe, step over our Second Amendment rights.
All right, Michael Cargill, Central Texas Gunworks. Thanks for coming by.
Sir, thank you for having me.
All right. Well, that's it for this segment. Be sure to stay tuned, because right after this break, Alex Jones is going to be telling you about black sites in the city of Chicago.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system, or call 1-888-253-3139.
For all of recorded history, civilizations around the world praised the health benefits of silver. At INFOWARS Life, our mission is to bring you the highest quality, purest, cleanest, effective